Hey, what's up? I hope you're having a great day today. Has it happened to you that something unexpected shows up in your life and all of a sudden
everything changes?
I mean, I'm not talking about something like monumental. I'm talking about what we usually talk about, which is guitars, pedals, effects, plugins, amp sims, and everything guitar and pro audio related, right? So in that vein, my friend, I'm gonna share with you something that really opened my mind to something
absolutely different.
And it brought a level of inspiration that I was not expecting. Let's go check it out together. I'm relancing now. We break it down, baby. Alright, my friend, thank you so much for being here once again in another video. And as usual, remember to like, subscribe, and do all those cool little things that we like to do on YouTube so that you and I can stay in touch with each other. It was in the beginning of September when I got an email from my friends of XVIVE telling me that if I wanted to try one of their new products. Not new enough anymore. And I told them, of course, that I wanted to try it without really making much of it. I just thought really honestly for you, my friends that are actually playing gigs, sharing stages with lots of people, or even the street musicians that I know. But I was not expecting the big impact that it was going to have in actually my own workflow. I'm talking about the XVIVE P58 wireless guitar system, which exactly as it says it in the tin,
is a wireless system.
And now you get what I'm saying? When I'm telling you that, honestly, I felt like there was no real utility for this in my workflow. But how wrong was I? Let's go check this thing out. Okay, so as you can see, here we are with the P58 guitar wireless system by XVIVE. And one of the first things that actually caught me by surprise was the fact that it came with a tuner. When they hit me up, I thought they were just gonna send me like a receiver and a transmitter and that was gonna be it. And I'm gonna plug it like in my little Spark or like in my preamps and use it that way. But no, they made it even better. And make sure you stay till the very end because I'm going to tell you something really nice that I found about this thing that has helped me almost every single day in my workflow. And the reason why I feel I need at least maybe, I don't know, 6 more receivers. All right, let's move on. Okay, so going straight to the machine itself, here you have the box. I think it was pretty nice. And I did a little bit of an unboxing video that you can probably be watching right here, right now. And it was a pretty straightforward unboxing. I want to say that they are very smart in the sense that they're not really wasting too much material or anything. To me, it's important to be socially conscious. And the fact that they're not using that much packaging material actually was like something refreshing to me. Nothing extra, just enough to keep the product safe and let you know a little bit about their brand because it came, I want to say, with a little catalog. Let's see if I have it still here. It probably went in the packaging box, but at least we have this, which is the manual. But honestly, you're not gonna need a manual. This is like so easy to understand. And even like just by using it a couple days, you're probably just gonna learn how to use it in every kind of way that you need to. But packaging is boring. Let's talk about what really matters. Oh?
I was not expecting that.
Okay, so here we go. And as you can see, the first thing that's gonna capture your attention is like, why is this thing dangling and like connected with the cable and blah, blah, blah. Well, that's because the tuner serves as the charger for the receiver. You just have to like plug it in instead of like wasting like a block or a USB plug in your outlet. You can just plug it directly into your tuner and it'll be charging right then and there. I think that's a sweet solution because in the modern day and age, we have way too many blocks, way too many chargers and way too many cables dangling around, right? So that right there was a nice decision, I feel. And of course, it comes with its own proprietary cable. And here in my hand, you can see this is the A58 XVIVE transmitter. Let's turn it on so that we can see the little lights. The first thing that you can see is that we have a green and a blue LED. The blue LED tells you what channel we're on, and the green LED tells you that basically we're transmitting. And as you can see in the receiver, now we know that we're getting some signal, right? Even if I do this. So yeah, we are live. Okay, and basically the blue LED right now, it's telling you that you can switch from 6 different channels, transmitter channels that is, giving you the flexibility to connect to different setups. And we're going to talk about this a little bit later. And that's how we lock in our transmitter to our receiver. As you can see, the one in my transmitter matches the one on my receiver, telling us that we're connected. And of course, green
means go.
What can we say about this transmitter? Honestly, there's nothing wrong about it. The design is pretty sweet. The fact that they left this little part here makes it that it doesn't really matter what kind of guitar you're using. It's still going to be easy to plug it into it. But that's not the only thing that I like about this design. I want to say that maybe the thing that I care about the most is that you don't have to have something like dangling or like something in your back pocket or something like hanging out in your strap. I feel like sometimes when you have like a pack hanging out, it feels like almost like uncomfortable. You know what I mean? You're always having like this thing poking in your back. And then you maybe have like a cable. I don't know. For some people, this might be a little bit too much, the fact that you can actually see it when you have it plugged in your guitar, especially if you're using a Stratocaster. But for most other kinds of guitars, where you actually have a jack in the side, it's the best because you don't have to have it like this, right? Oh, poking out. You can just like, boop, twist it in, and it's like so inconspicuous. Most times you would never even know that I'm using a transmitter. And I love that about this design. Maybe even the best kind of design that you can have for transmitters. I want to know your thoughts in the comment section down below. And while you're there, remember to like, subscribe, and do all those cool little things I would like to do on YouTube. And enjoy this little bossa nova, my friend. I hope your day keeps getting better and better and better. Right, let's keep going. So I do believe that this is a great design for a transmitter. And it even makes it very easy to just like have it in different guitars if you need to. And honestly, this battery lasts a long time. I want to say that no matter how long your session is, you don't need to charge this between it. But of course, as soon as you're done, connect it to your tuner and you'll be fine. Did I say tuner? That's a perfect segue to go see the next thing that's very, very interesting about the P58 guitar wireless system.
You make me a receiver.
But whatever, what really matters is that here we have the P58 XVIVE receiver. And as you can see ergonomically, it's just like any other guitar pedal with a nice button here that clicks very nicely, almost silent. There's no like clack, clack, clack thing, right? Then your classic stuff, you have input and output, which of course I'm plugged in already. And then you have your power delivery right here. And as you can see, the charging station for your transmitter, right? I feel like it's really cool that it has it right there. I feel like almost anything that has the requirement to have a battery that you need to charge with a USB-C port or whatever, they should somehow include the way to charge it, right? Not like trust that you're gonna go buy an Anchor or like whatever from your iPhone, you know what I mean? It's cool that they're making a self-sufficient product that you don't have to be thinking about. Everything you need is right here. No need to go get anything else. And then for the eagle eye amongst you, that's so when I show the input, we have a switch right here on the side that allows you to go from true bypass to a buffered mode. And that's gonna come in really handy if you were to have a very populated pedal board. Overdrives, distortions, reverb, delay, modulation, all these things. A buffered setting might help you. So I'm gonna say that great design, simple to use, absolutely nothing to complain about. It even looks cool when you turn it on. Look at this. Ooh. And then what's really cool is that it defaults to be muted because let's say if you're playing live, nobody wants to hear you bling, 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 smashing your strings or your tuning, right? And then on top of that, you have right here something called channel scan. Look what it does. It allows you to cycle through the different numbers, coincidentally, 6 channels, exactly like as a transmitter, which in my opinion gives you the opportunity to use this as a wireless hub. For example, if you're like me and you have a bunch of guitars in your studio, gone are the days of having to plug and unplug every guitar that I'm gonna use because let's say if I were to buy 6 transmitters and keep them with my guitars, every time I'm using a different guitar, I just come right here, boop, 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 and cycle through them. Simple as that. I would call it a mixer, but I know that you cannot do several transmitters at a time, but I feel like that's sweet. And honestly, that sounds like a really, really good idea. But for now, my friend, I know that you want to hear how this thing sounds, check how it tunes, and more importantly, check the range. So let's just stop the talking, get to the rocking, and grab a guitar. Today, my friend, we're going to be using my PRS SE Custom 2408. Number 1, because it's not too heavy. And as you can see, I have my trusty strap, so you know we're going to be standing up. All right, let's do this. XVIVE, engaged. And then I manicure like that, and look, almost as if there is nothing in my guitar. All right, let's go. The first thing that I want to start with is checking the tuner out. And as you can see, that's the first cool thing that you notice about this tuner, is that it's a combination of a needle and a strobe. Why would anybody have to choose either or when you can have them both? And I love that. Okay, that's nice and easy because we are here in the studio, sitting down, chilling, and that sounds pretty good and it's fine. And as you can see, my gain structure has remained the same. What I was expecting to get with this humbuckers is exactly what I'm getting, but that's pretty easy because the receiver and the transmitter are barely like, I don't know, 2-3 feet away from each other.
What happens if we start moving away?
All right, so why don't we check some tests? So basically what I did is that I just went to different places where the receiver and the transmitter were just like getting further and further and further away, or that there were more and more obstacles on the way. And of course, when I was syncing the audio in the video, I found out about something that happened in one of the tests. So stick around so we can see what it is. Let's just check all these tests. I mean, I knew this was never going to work. As you can see in the beginning of the video, I'm like, no, this is never going to work because this is like the furthest that I could have had the receiver and the transmitter. And I had a whole structure in the middle of it. So I knew this was not going to work, but it's interesting to see it at least. And now this one, I'm pretty sure it's not going to work because I want to say that I was maybe over 100 feet. And I know that this is just rated for 100 feet. And you have to know that when you have ratings like this for wireless systems, usually it's that distance, but when you have line of sight, in this case, I had none. I literally was in the middle of the street and the receiver was right here in the studio, right in front of my desk. So there was no way that this was going to work, but let's see. Yeah, I couldn't believe that was going to work, honestly, but I'm pretty surprised that it actually somewhat worked a little bit, right? Let's leave this right here and let's go get a few conclusions. So there you go, my friend, the XVIVE P58 guitar system. I think it's pretty sweet. And if you think about it, that this is not just a simple wireless situation, but something a little bit further than that, I think it's a pretty good proposition, you know what I mean? Because let's just analyze the pieces, right? The transmitter, I think it's like a good design, good range, good battery charge, you want to say. I like that you can use it with any single guitar and there's not going to be a problem. It looks a little bit awkward if you're using a Strat, for example, or any like front-loading guitar, I want to say, or like an SG, for example, as well. And overall, like I weigh in the pros and the cons of the design. I kind of like this design, especially when I was thinking about the idea of running this like almost like a mixer of like a splitter of the wireless systems of some sort. And let's say you get 6 of these, you put them in all your guitars, and then one of these plug directly to your preamplifiers, right? And then you just change the channel to change guitars. I think that's a pretty sweet use, right? And since this thing has like this like very sleek design, if you put it in your guitars, I already tried, like you can have it in almost any stand and it's not going to hit any of the sides. So you can just literally leave it plugged in forever if you need to. Then of course it comes a problem of charging, but charging is a breeze because you can just use the USB charger right here or any other USB charger that you have. And then let's say if we analyze the tuner, I want to say the construction's super rugged. Like I think this thing is metal, you know what I mean? Like it's not going to go anywhere. And it comes with like Velcro, so you can put it in your pedal board and you have no problem. The fact that it comes with the buffer circuit right here or the 2 bypass, whatever you choose to use, I think that's a pretty sweet addition. And I'm pretty sure that you can buy these separately in Amazon or anything. I'm going to probably leave the links right here below because just the tuner itself is actually pretty sweet. What I really like is that not only you have the needle kind of tuner, but also you have a strobe built in at the same time. So that gives you a better idea of where your pitch is. The other thing that I consider important, and this is for me, and it's the ballistics of it. Because there's a moment, like, for example, you know, when you're picking hard or like when you have like a very thick pick, that first little transient is going to be detuned higher, right? Because bang, 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 right? It's going to be a sound like that a little bit. The more you control your pick, the less you're going to have that sound. But let's say a beginner like I am, if I hit it hard with the big pick, you're going to have that. And I feel like when the machine detects that, all of a sudden it's like it recalibrates the ballistics and it's like, okay, no, you're still in tune. It was just that little jump there. Okay, perfect. And then it makes you feel comfortable and confident about the tuning that you just did. And usually it's pretty on point. Maybe my PRS is not the best guitar to like showcase something about tuning because that one has a little bit of problem with the nut. It's cut a little bit high. So if I press a little bit too hard on my fingers, I tend to bend up a little bit in the chord. But at least, you know, I'm training myself to have a little bit of a better touch. But I digress. What I was saying, then very sweet too, is that huge screen that is like very, very easy to read no matter where you are. So, you know, overall, there's a lot to like in these 2 items, in them of themselves. But when you put them combined, there's even a lot more.
But
like everything else in life, it's not perfect. There's a couple things that I have a little bit of gripes with. For example, the fact that when it starts dying, the battery, you just start like losing the level little by little and you don't really notice what's happening at first. You have to like sort of like have a trained ear or like really know your gear to know exactly what's happening. So that sort of like gives me a little bit of insecurity about it. But you know, here in the studio, it's very easy for me to keep it charged all the time. But then the thing that actually sort of bothers me a little bit is the fact that you have no control over the latency. And I feel like the latency is a little bit variable. And maybe the eagle eye amongst you could capture the fact that in the videos themselves, there's moments that it feels like my hand and the audio goes out of sync somehow. But other parts look perfectly locked in. Maybe, I don't know, interference or just like a little bit of air blowing because I was outdoors. Maybe it carries the radio frequencies away or something. I don't know what is happening, but I see like this little flux. And if you really want to pay attention to that, go back and just like rewind the video and repeat them and you're going to see that. You know what I mean? Again, another thing that doesn't really give me confidence per se. But that's not a problem. You know, when I'm right here in the studio, I'm like, I don't know, 11, 12 feet away. Because for example, I've been trapped trying to do my shorts all this time, the closest that I could be to my preamps or my amplifier to make those little shorts that I always do, asking you if you know the riff that I'm playing. And the moment I use this thing for the first time, I just experienced like this sense of freedom. For the first time, I could face a different direction, put my camera wherever I wanted, even start using the couch, for example, maybe one of these days, just because I can have this playing my guitar and actually be free from the cables that were tying me down in the same position for years. So that for me was a big revelation, you know, because it's a big jump coming from cables and all of a sudden wireless without really losing almost like any quality that I could really discern, except when the battery starts running low. But I think I drove that point home already. So my friend, other than that, I think that from my perspective, this is definitely a recommend. And if you made it till the end of this video, I'm gonna give you a little bit of a hint of a secret product that I have already waiting for you. What if I told you that I have the exact competition for this product from a different manufacturer at a different kind of price point that is also punching way above its weight? You need to stay tuned for when I drop that video, that it's gonna be pretty soon. But other than that, for now, my friend, if you stay till the very end, please write off the chain in the comment section so that I know that you're a real one and that you stay till the very end. But other than that, my friend, I want to hear your comments about everything that happened today here. The tests, the tuner, the receiver, the transmitter, the whole wireless situation. Do you have a wireless? Would you like a wireless? Why don't you go to my links down below? And while you're there, remember to like, subscribe. And if you can financially support me, smash that super thanks button. I thank you so much. And if you have some time to watch another video, go watch this one right here, my friend. I'll be waiting for you right there. All right, see you soon.